Welcome back to Fiercely Unfiltered. I'm your host, Kelly Renee. And since it's October, I just went over pregnancy loss awareness, but it's also domestic violence awareness this month. So I wanted to go over a few things with that. Before we get into my story, let me go over what domestic violence, also known as intimate partner violence, actually is. A lot of people think it's just about bruises and broken bones, but it's actually a pattern of behavior that someone uses to gain and maintain control and power over someone else. It can be physical, emotional, financial, or psychological. It can sound like insults. It can look like isolation, and it can feel like fear. And sometimes it's about who holds the most power in the room, not always about the person who raises their voice. So let's get into it a little bit. I wanted to talk about one of my core memories in my marriage. It was when we lived in Washington. We lived in a house on the lake, and we had a third story. And he would go out on the boat with his friends. And when I know he would be coming back, I'd go up on the third floor balcony, kind of like a sniper in flip-flops. And as him and his friends would come in to dock the boat, I'd just start shooting at him. I'd fire paintballs and hit him. And it was fun. It was like a game. It was kind of like our relationship. It was chaotic, competitive, and intense. That's just who we were. And I would do that and it was fun, but he used to get smart about it and he would call me before he would be docking. And he'd be like, hey, I need you to get something out of my car. Someone just called me. I need to look and see. So I'd run down. As I'm getting in the car, I'm like, that motherfucker is parking the boat. And he would start to outsmart me so he wouldn't get shot up, which was smart. But it didn't stop there. One day or one night, I was trying to sleep and he was downstairs with his friends. And I asked a couple of times for him to be quiet, but they weren't. So I grabbed that same paintball gun, walked downstairs, and I just started firing. Inside the house, inside the kitchen, these men just started screaming like little girls, running in all different directions. A whole bunch of them shut themselves in my pantry. So I just started shooting the glass door. It didn't break because it was paintballs. Some of them ran out the front door and up my driveway. And as they're running out my driveway, I'm just shooting at them, hit them in the legs and the back. But it's all fun and games until it's not. And they chased me down. They grabbed the gun from me. I was able to run upstairs and lock myself in our bonus room. And it was on a second floor. There was no trees. I couldn't get out. So I was in there for a couple hours, actually, as they were putting the barrel of the gun under the door and shooting in the room, just blind shooting, trying to hit me. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? If I go out the door, I'm just getting plowed by this paintball gun. And I just did it to them, so they're going to do it to me. So I actually took the screens off my windows. I kind of used them as a shield and held them in front of me. And I went out the door and they were still shooting at me, but the paintballs that hit the screen would break. So I would just get splattered by the paint. But I was holding onto the screens like this and they were shooting the fingertips. So I would drop the screens, but I held onto the screens and I don't actually even know what happened after that. I must have ran for my life somewhere. I don't know. But that's when lines start to get blurred. They say 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men are a part of violence in a relationship with an intimate partner. And witnessing that, we're both in those statistics. He could say he was, and I can say I was. But what happens when those lines get blurred in your normal day life? What happens when you're driving in the car and that same man who laughed with me and played those games, when he got upset with something I said while I was driving the car, he'd reach over and he'd slam my head against the window of the car. I'd be like, fuck, you're going to kill both of us. I'm fucking driving right now. But that's just was our life because we fought like that. We wrestled. We were competitive. We were intense. That was who we were. So you kind of blur lines and boundaries, and then it doesn't feel safe anymore. I mean, I remember I used to say stuff he didn't like, and he would physically kick me out of the bed. Or at night, if he just wanted to get a reaction out of me, he'd say, you fucking cunt, because that's the one word. I cuss a lot, but that's the one word I just think is vulgar and unnecessary. And I'll share that with him. Like, I hate that word. So that's the word he would use and say over and over and over again until I would break, until I react. Then I was the crazy one. So this doesn't always show up in black and blue. Sometimes it shows up in silence, humiliation, fear, isolation. Because if any of you were a part of our Medcare days, I mean, I was in a psychological warfare. He would control my finances, controlled how other people saw me, told other people they weren't allowed to talk to me, just ate away and eroded at my self-worth, at my self-esteem. Just tried everything in his power to break me down, which he did. Like I'm still in counseling. I'm still trying to be better. And I'm not innocent. Like I shot paintballs. I fought fire with fire. Like our relationship was intense. But when it came to our workplace, I tried to separate the two. And he wasn't able to do that. I just never thought that the person that loved me and that I built a life with was capable of tearing me down and destroying me the way he did. But he was, and he did. And here we are. But I just want everyone to understand that domestic violence isn't just about people beating other people, but there are a lot of people that go through that. I think it's 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have dealt with extreme violence in their relationship. And 50% of all men and women have said they have dealt with aggressive psychological behavior in a relationship. And me and my ex-husband are both in those statistics. I mean, it's scary when you connect chaos with passion and adrenaline with love, because it's not. Peace and love is safe. And the environment we built, it blurred so many lines and boundaries that maybe neither of us knew what was okay and wasn't okay. So I actually used to say when his friends were over, we would wrestle because we just go at it. And I would say, you know what? When you're getting a relationship, this isn't normal, I don't think. So maybe before you just start roughhousing with someone like this, make sure they're okay with it. Because at the time, it was fun. But it's fun until it's not. I also want you to understand that it doesn't matter who you are. Like, I'm a very strong person. I was a CEO of a company. I was in real estate. I was in the Army. And I still got caught up in this kind of relationship. And I was a part of the problem in it. And sometimes domestic violence is just 2 people stuck in a storm playing 2 different roles. And I want to take accountability for my part of that storm. But me taking accountability for my part doesn't take away the cruelty and the stuff he did to me. And it doesn't make it okay. Because I've also learned that 2 people in a relationship can both be reactive. But one can be using that for control and to destroy someone. So it's not all about intent. Sometimes it's about the impact it makes. And I'm still going through counseling, trying to deal with everything and understand why I thought chaos was connection and why I thought adrenaline was love and why I dealt with it for as long as I did. And people will say, why didn't you leave? And it's a lot more complicated than that. And I ended up not being the one to break the relationship up. He did. But you don't leave because sometimes you're just so in love with the person you started in the relationship with. Sometimes you have hope that the same person that I'm building this life with and this family with and this business with isn't capable of destroying me. But anyone's capable of anything. Let me tell you that. So this is a heavy month for a lot of people. Everyone just needs to be self-aware and take accountability for your actions.